All right, good morning, guys. We are going to go ahead and get started with today. So you have a couple different things to do today. You have a bell ringer. That's actually a Flipgrid, and it's our first time using that. Directions for that will be on Canvas under Module 1. The date is 9/8. Then you are going to come here for video notes with me. After that, you have a little song and quiz, and then we're going to do some vocab. So I'm going to walk you through numbers 2 and 4 in this video. So we're going to start by going ahead and updating our table of contents for the week. So if you will go to that table of contents page in your notebook. Let me zoom in for you here a little bit. Ooh. All right. So here's your table of contents. If you need to pause to get that copied, you can go ahead and do that now. And it should help you get ready for the week. And when you are done, we are going to go ahead and go to page 2 for roles in an ecosystem. All right, guys, so you should be on page 2. So, there's my 2. Page 1 were your abiotic and biotic notes from last week. So we're going to title this page Roles in an Ecosystem. And we're going to just jump right into notes. So I'm going to start with the roles of the organisms in a food chain. So we're just going to give ourselves a starting sentence here, and we're going to say the following categories are the roles of organisms in a food chain. The roles of organisms in a food chain. And we are going to start with our consumers. So this is our first big category. Consumers. Our first type of consumer is going to be a decomposer. A decomposer. Okay, and decomposers eat dead organisms. Pretty simple. Next up, an omnivore. An omnivore. An omnivore eats meats and plants. Our next category is going to be a carnivore. Okay, and a carnivore eats only meat. Eats only meat. Then we're going to write herbivore. An herbivore eats only plants. Okay, this is kind of like the vegetarian version of organisms in an ecosystem. So now you can kind of look at these and figure out what category you fall into. I am an omnivore. I definitely eat meat and plants. All right, and then we're going to add one category. This one may be the only new one to you if you had already learned about these to elementary school, and that is a scavenger. Okay, and scavengers are kind of tricky. Scavengers eat dead, rotting things and like trash. So there's a difference between a decomposer and a scavenger. A decomposer waits till something dies, and it's going to kind of break it down and put that nutrients back into the soil. Whereas a scavenger is something like a vulture or a raccoon. When I think about vultures, I think about them eating like the remains of an animal that has died in the savanna or the grassland. And they kind of are there to pick up the scraps. So a decomposer takes everything and breaks it down. And scavengers are going to kind of eat the rotting remains, anything that's left over, and then the things that are trash. I know raccoons will eat just about anything. So they'll scavenge through all of the things. All right. So our next big category is producers. Okay, and producers are really, really important to ecosystems. Okay, they are typically, we're going to say plant-like organisms. They're the things that use energy from the sun through the process of photosynthesis. And then they store that energy. So the big takeaway here is that for something to be a producer, it has to do photosynthesis. So this big long word right here, photosynthesis, is your key. Okay, that is a really important factor in something being a producer. All right, a couple more things that we need to make note of. Okay, and we are going to just add a really big star, which is kind of punny when you think about what we're about to write. So we're going to write the source of all energy is the sun. Of course, you understand my joke here if you know that the sun is a star. All right, guys. So this is it for your roles in an ecosystem notes for today. Pretty short and sweet. We are going to move right into food chains tomorrow. So make sure you review this information and then check back with your agenda for today and move on to the next step in your agenda so that you are getting everything done.